Hi, I'm Chris Lee, and this is Virtually Speaking. Joining me today is the multi-award winning and incredible Wayne Hoffman, who's recognized as one of the top mentalists in the world. He's an in-demand television personality, and he tours the world with his stage show, Mind Candy. And he also authored a best-selling book by the same name, Mind Candy. He even has a captivating keynote called The Power and Potential of the Human Mind. Wayne's been featured on America's Got Talent and on Penn and Teller's Fool Us, where he was actually one of the few contestants who's ever fooled Penn and Teller. He's been on the Today Show, NBC's hit show Phenomenon, the Ellen DeGeneres Show, Harry, hosted by Harry Connick Jr., and he's been on National Geographic, CNN Money, the Science Channel, and many more. And I am so excited to have him with us today. And let me tell you, he really messed with my head by reading my mind and performing some mental hacks that are truly mind-blowing and real. So let's get to the fun with this very talented and intriguing man, Wayne Hoffman.
Have you ever been certain your telephone would ring in the next 10 seconds?
One of the top mentalists in the world, the one that you chose.
What is happening? No, get out of my mind.
Or have you ever walked down a strange street and had the feeling that you knew what lay beyond the unturned corner?
All right, now talk to me about what we're going to be seeing tonight. Is it dangerous? Is it going to blow our minds? What is it?
The amazing Wayne Hoffman is here.
Ladies and gentlemen, Wayne Hoffman just pulled Penn and Teller.
Right now, we're going to have you go on an imaginary journey. That's really.
Well, hello, Wayne Hoffman. Thank you for joining me here on Virtually Speaking. How the heck are you doing today?
Awesome. I'm always awesome. I'm just waiting for the rest of the world to catch up.
I like that. I like that. You are indeed very awesome. I've seen your performances on America's Got Talent. I'm a big fan. Also on Penn and Teller, Fool Us. Is that the name of the show? Fool Us.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Fool Us. You got it.
And that's great. You actually are the only person I've seen on that show fool them.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It worked. I got him. It worked. And that was the mission. So mission accomplished. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, and then on America's Got Talent, you were around for how many episodes did you go? How many rounds did you get through?
Yeah, so I went on AGT, and then I got the 4 yeses. I got on, and they passed me through.
Yeah.
And then I mysteriously vanished. It's behind the scenes stuff, but I was never eliminated from the show. But then I never made it to the finals either. I kind of ghosted as a mentalist and illusionist would. It's funny because AGT asked me to go on the show nearly not 9, it was about 7 or 8 years in a row. They would call me and I never did the show. I never wanted to do the show, never did it. And then finally the year that I decided, you know what, AGT has become a powerhouse. It's
right.
A great credit to have. It showcases what you do.
The production value is off the charts.
Oh yeah, you can't pay for a demo reel like that. A 37 camera HD shoot. So I was like, I'm going to do it. I never went on thinking I was going to win. I just wanted that demo clip.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted, and I got it. And it ended up being played. My portion of my performance ended up getting played on loop in Times Square. Surprisingly, some guy called me up. He's like, "Hey man, I'm watching you in Times Square on one of the big screens." I'm like, "What?" It was a cool experience. Yeah.
Yeah. And you've been on a lot of other great shows too. You've been on the Today Show and Regis and Kelly.
I feel like I've done it all. That's the thing. I'm the most famous person you've never heard of. That's what I like to tell people. Yeah, the Ellen DeGeneres Show. I mean,
yeah,
I've done them all. It feels like it anyway.
Did she have you pop out of the table because she likes to surprise people? Did you?
No. You know what? I always think when I go back on, if I go back on the show, what would happen if someone was in there or somebody would pop out? It's
because she's got to want to get you. You're the guy everybody wants to get because you get us all the time.
Yeah, exactly. That's fun.
So you obviously your talent is unbelievable. Your stage presence is great. Every time I have seen any video or had the chance to see you, I've just had to stop everything and watch it. It's kind of addictive. So
Cool, man. Thanks.
I try not to Google your name too much or look you up on YouTube, because I know I'm just going to go down this rabbit hole of video after video.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's awesome what you do. And but I heard you say, and I know that you started out as a magician, you know, very, very early on, and then you decided that the mentalist thing was more appealing to you. Is that because you got like a degree in psychology, or is it because you just like that aspect better, or is it just you realized you had this gift? What's going on there?
That's a good question. You know, I think anybody in the mystery arts, whether you're a hypnotist, an illusionist, a close-up magician, an escape artist, anybody in that genre, we always, I think, as a whole, get started as a child doing magic. That's where you first get that sensation of, wow, I like making people smile by doing fun things, you know, and you kind of feed off of that. So that's my story. And later, I started performing as a magician and studied psychology at a university. And that's when I slowly started putting what I like to call the science of the mind into my magic show. And what I realized, and it was interesting, over time, I just slowly put in another mental experiment into the show. And afterward, the reactions that I got were different, because you would have somebody come up after the show and people would say this, they'd say, hey, that was a really cool trick that you did where the thing disappeared or whatever. That was cool. But how did you read my mind? You know what I mean? And so what I think has happened over time is magic, and I love magic. You know, I bill myself as a mentalist and illusionist because I love both and I do both. And it was a big hurdle for me. I said, I got to pick one. And then I realized, no, I don't. I do both and I love both. So I started doing magic, put in the mentalism, and the effect that the psychological stuff had on the audience was emotionally impactful and real. You know, it had the impact that I feel shamans had, you know, years ago, where, you know, people have this feeling that you are a witch doctor or a shaman, or there's some type of otherworldly experience happening. Instead of saying, oh, that was cool how you did sleight of hand, they get the feeling of real magic.
There's almost like less explanations available for the mental side of things. So I actually did something before, and I know you probably, we talked about you're going to do a couple cool examples and tricks or whatever you want to call them, you know, hacks, mind hacks, whatever it is. And I guess I'm going to be the guy who you use for some of this stuff, right?
Yeah, unless you have somebody hiding out over there, but you'll be the guy for sure.
Yeah,
because it's boring to stand here and read my own mind. So you're pretty much the only other option.
Maybe we could have like a caller call in. I could call somebody else and let them deal with you. But I did do something before we started, and you know, this is just trying to prove to myself, you know, something that you're real. So I actually went on the internet. And I don't know if you're going to like this, but I went on the internet and I picked a word. I just kind of scanned through and I picked a long word and I let the internet kind of give it to me. And I've remembered that word. I think, oh yeah, I remember the word. So I'm just going to put you on the spot right now. I've seen a lot of mentalists. I know how some of these things are done. I just wanted to have some fun here. Okay, so I'm thinking of a word that, again, I went on the internet, I looked up, I saw the word, I remembered it. It was a nice long word. I thought, oh, that's a good word. I'm going to remember that. So what's the word?
I can try. So I'll tell you what, I mean, in my live show and the virtual show and when I do my performances, the whole concept is I figure out what people are thinking. So let's try. Whatever it is, first of all, did you tell anybody? Did you text it to anybody? Did you do anything? No. Or are you the only person that knows what it is?
Yes.
You're the only person. Okay.
Yeah.
Think of it.
Got it.
Concentrate on it and just think of it in your mind. and just kind of say it over and over and over in your head.
Okay.
Okay, it's interesting because I feel like you almost picked a different word. Like you had another word that you almost picked, but then you jumped to this one. And I'm getting multiple letters. I actually got 2 letters out of your mind right away. Now the question is, are they 2 different words, that part of each word, or is it the first 2 letters of the word you're thinking of? I'll tell you what, let me ask you this. Does it start with the letter R?
No.
Okay, what's the first letter? Tell me.
A.
A. Keep thinking of it. Okay, I'm getting something. Actually, it's like an O, but it has the line down the side. That's the thing. It's a D. It wasn't an O. It's because I got A-O, but I got A. Keep thinking. I'm something like this.
Don't freak me out, man.
Okay, I have something written here. Now, on the internet, there's billions and billions of words. And is the word that you're thinking of, is it meaningful or random?
Both. It's kind of a word that I think could be considered random, but it's also.
All right, well, I have something written here.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to come up to the close-up camera here.
All right.
Now, I have it written on my side of the card over here. So what's going to happen is this. On the count of 3, I'll turn this around, and at the same time, you'll say out loud what word is in your mind. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
Advantages. Oh my God, that is insane. Oh my God.
That's funny.
That's the end of the interview. That is insane. Wow.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
That's ridiculous, Wayne.
Yeah.
Come
that's
on.
Too much time doing things you weren't supposed to.
I swear to God, to everybody watching at home, all my friends and family, I did not tell him that word before we started taping. Yeah. Not at all.
If anyone can prove otherwise, I'll offer you $1 million in cash. He's telling you the truth. This is what I do for a living. You know, it's funny because I had this, but I had something else that I had a feeling you would think of at some point, and I had written it down. I know this is weird. Were you I'm going to show you. I'll come back to the camera.
I don't think I was thinking of another word, but okay.
Okay, because for some reason, initially, I had a vibe that you would think of something else. Did you? Oh, I don't know, because it's in here. Did you think of a word that started with the letter D at all? Because
Yes, I did.
What was the word?
Drums. Oh my God. That is insane. Dude. That is not cool. Oh my God. So wait, when did you write that down? Before we started taping?
Yeah. Before we even jumped on, I had it written down. I was like, I told my broadcast manager.
You told your guy you were going to ask me to think of a word?
Yeah, I said before I even met you and started doing this on the video here. Like I told my broadcast manager, I said, I have a feeling he's gonna think of this for some reason.
Did you watch any of my other interviews on this show?
You know what? I hate to say that I have not, but I definitely plan on it because I started seeing all of your other guests. And by the way, great people you're bringing on.
So
that's kind of why I was excited to do it.
Thank you. Yeah, I know you know the passing zone. Because
yeah, great. Yeah, I think everybody knows the passing zone. Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, they're great. And I know that you guys, that they were also on America's Got Talent. And do you also know John Dornbos, who was on America's Got Talent?
Yeah. I met John in Florida many years ago at a wedding, a mutual friend. And yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. So they've already both been on the show. And I love this entertainment aspect to this show and to the virtual presentations because, you know, I've had so many meeting professionals say to me, you know, we need something that's going to pop through the camera, that's really going to captivate people. And my God, you just did that with me. So that's crazy. So I'm a drummer.
Okay, I didn't know that.
That is crazy. So in all of the interviews that I've had, drums have come up a couple times here and there where somebody would say, oh, I know you're a drummer. Or I've said to somebody, oh, I'm a drummer and that's why blah, blah. And I even had a drummer on one of my favorite episodes, Kenny Aronoff, who's one of my good friends and an amazing speaker who's a drummer who played with everybody. Incredible drummer and incredible interview, incredible resume. He has 1,300 gold, platinum, or diamond records.
That doesn't even sound possible, but
well,
like that's a
30-something
superhuman number.
Yeah,
that's
it's
amazing.
a 30-something year career. So
That's awesome.
The fact that you picked that word and wrote it down before, so you were going to ask me that before we started?
I just had a feeling that I had a feeling you would be thinking of that. And
How
I
did
would be
you do
attempting
that?
to hear.
That is incredible.
Thanks, brother.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's fortunate because doing, like, you're feeling the feeling of having your mind read. And I think everybody watching knows that it's genuine and that you didn't, tell me that in advance or anything like that. I think you can tell by a person's reaction. And that's really the concept of doing things through this medium, through a virtual thing. You have to really, you have to go beyond just watching something. And that's why everything that I do, I try to make it interactive, either as an individual or as a group. You know, I get everybody involved because then you really get that impact, so it's cool. Luckily for me, translating and moving from my live shows into the virtual space, believe it or not, it was surprisingly seamless.
Wow.
Because I can still do exactly what I would do.
I was just going to say, so it still works over.
Yeah, it's great. It's literally translates right through because I can still read your mind. Everybody can still watch. I can still have everybody volunteer, as a group as well. So it's not just one-on-one. Yeah. You can have, I did a celebrity live stream with Willie Nelson and a bunch of people, and they had me perform. And I think there was over 75,000 people watching. That we broadcast to, and I had everybody, all those 75,000 people were doing something, thinking of something, engaging, and it brought the thing to life. So, but anyway, yeah, cool. I'm glad I got it, because if I was wrong, that would have been a terrible ending to that.
And not only are you an entertainer, and people can have you entertain, and you can do a whole show, and it's something that could be like an hour-long show if people want it. You also have a keynote speech, right? Tell us a little bit about the topic of the speech and what the takeaways are from that.
Yeah. So my career as a performer, I'm proud to say it worked. As a kid, I grew up in the middle of nowhere in Pennsylvania, and my dream as I grew up was to become a magician / mentalist. And I said, one day I'm going to travel around the world, perform on the biggest stages in the world, and I'm going to be on television. And everyone around me, as you can imagine, said, you're crazy, that's impossible. And even people closest to me, they said, think realistically. They said, get a real job. You're never going to make it. They would say things like, name one person that that's successful, that's done it. And, growing up, there was only like one or two people that were really on television doing it. So I had to reframe my own mind in order to do what I do. So I was in Japan, and I met a guy out in Japan, and we were talking. I was out there performing, and he said, how did you do it? How did you get to the point you are? You weren't rich. He's like, you're not very, you're not a GQ model, let's face it. And he's right, so he said, you're not connected or rich. He goes, you're just some random guy with this crazy vision, but what enabled you to do it as opposed to anybody else? And over a 3-hour period, I told him, I said, here is how I think, my special paradigm, my viewpoint of the world and how to get things done. And I explained this, and he said, man, you got to write a book. And I remember I was like, man, I don't even like to read, let alone write a book. So some time went by and I started to reflect upon what he said, and I started to realize I need to do it to help people. It's really came from a calling of wanting to serve people. So I ended up writing a book called Mind Candy.
Mind
Candy.
Mind Candy. Yeah.
So
the audio cut out just, and I wanted to make sure I heard.
Yeah. No, it's Mind Candy. So
right.
It's on Amazon and iTunes books and all that stuff. But I wrote this book, and then I started to realize I could take the writing that I have, these ideas and these mind hacks that are going to help people become successful, and I can take my experience in the entertainment world, and of course, being able to go on a stage and present well, combined with educational content, it was a no-brainer. And then, of course, working with planners and DMCs and speakers bureaus and everyone in my network, I said, I want to do this. So 12 years ago now, I presented the keynote for the first time in Las Vegas at the Rio for a corporate event. Got a standing ovation out of the gate, and people came up, and it was a different type of response. People say, hey, good. When I do the entertainment show, they say, great show, it was awesome. But after the keynote, people came up crying and hugging me, saying, you've changed my life today, So I'm like, okay, I have something here. So the concept of the keynote in a nutshell is I teach a 4-step process on how to achieve goals, restructure your to-do list, how to use no as a powerful weapon to serve you rather than to be fearful of it, and takeaways that are tangible for your personal life and your professional life. You can use the stuff to reach sales goals for your company, or you can use these things to make your marriage better. So I wanted to serve people as a human being, not just in their industry.
So
it's a cool thing to be able to do both.
Is it about mindset and visualization and kind of list, what are really quick, what are the kind of the...
Yeah, so what it is, it's a combination of the power of positive thinking and manifestation and that whole concept. But what I do differently is then I mix it with business tactics and I blend those two together. Because you'll see a lot of people say, well, envision it and your dreams will come true. And then you have other people that say, well, here is a file system on how to structure your to-do list and so on and so forth. So what I've done is I've blended them together, and then I use narratives and stories from my own life combined with magic and mentalism used to highlight the points. So the cool things that you're seeing, these amazing wonder-filled moments, are to engrave that into your brain so when you leave, you take it home with you. Because we've all been to the keynote where you're really jazzed, and then 3 days later you go, how'd that go again? Oh, I'll go back to Netflix. And you forget what it is. I never wanted to do that. I wanted to make sure these concepts would stick with people years, decades after they watched the keynote. So
that's great, man. Okay, so you brought, I kind of threw that one at you, even though you had the drums already ready to go, which is crazy. But you probably brought something with you that you could show me about your show, and maybe you could have some fun with me.
Yeah. I'll do something. I'll just do one or two quick ones with you. I'll show you some of the
we have time. It doesn't have to be quick.
So this is a fun one, and this goes back to my roots of magic. And I think when I think it was about 17, 18, I took a road trip from Pennsylvania to St. Louis, Missouri. And while I was there, my buddy and we were in the tourist area, the River Walk and the Arch, and a guy came up to us and tried to hustle us. Now, at that time, I was already performing as a magician. So, and I basically lived by the rule, never bet a man in his own game, but my buddy, he wasn't having it. He's like, oh, I can figure this guy out. And he did a classic thing. And I've seen this thing in every major tourist area, London, Paris, Vegas. I mean, it's everywhere, but I'll show you my version now.
Okay.
It's a simple game. I would venture to guess millions of people have lost money doing this, but luckily for you and everybody watching, you don't have to bet. You can just place your bet in your mind. It involves 3 cards, and I'm going to come up to the close-up camera so you guys can see it. Check this out.
there's 3 cards here. All right. We have the 3, we have the ace, and then the 2. Okay. Your job, if you choose to accept it, is very simple. All you have to do is follow the ace. That's it, right in the middle. Keep your eye right there on the ace, and if you can do it, then you get you win the prize of being cool for the day. Now I'm going to do this as slowly as I can, so you know everything is fair. It's the one right in the middle. So keep your eyes on that card. All right. Now, if it's early for you and you haven't had a cup of coffee yet, I'll give you a hint. All right. So now all you have to do is follow the ace. So right now, place your mental bets on where you think it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, most people, for some odd reason, they think it's over here, and I haven't figured out why, because the ace is actually over there.
Wow.
So it's a simple one, but it's you know, it cuts right to the point. You know, it's a visual thing, and it hopefully engages you. And if you got it right, congratulations, you're on top of things. But I have one more that I have to show you. Now that was magic. Again, that was a you know, a sleight of hand magic illusion type of thing. But I have something for you in my pocket that it's something
for me.
Yes, and it's in the world of mentalism. So I'm going to ask you some questions, and I want to point out, and this is important for the viewers at home, what you're about to see is not prearranged. This is real, and it's happening live. He has no idea what's about to happen. So what I want you to do is imagine that let's say we bet in that card game, and let's say you won, and as your prize, hypothetically speaking, let's say you've just won a free vacation anywhere in the world that you want to travel to. But the catch is you have to leave right now. So tell us all out loud, where would you go if you could go on a free vacation right now?
Italy.
Imagine you're there.
Okay.
Go into an imaginary hotel, walk up to your hotel room, and on your door is your room number. What room number are you picturing on the door? Tell us out loud.
201.
Okay. Is that important to you in any way? Like a lucky number? Is that your birthday?
I just saw the number and I said it.
Okay. So in other words, it's not something that I could have known you were going to say.
Has nothing to do with me whatsoever.
All right. Here's the weird part. Remember how I told you I had something for you?
Yeah.
Well, earlier I wrote something on a Post-it note and I put it inside of my wallet as a prediction of what I believed was going to happen. I'll come up to the close-up camera again so you can see this. Check this out. Behind my driver's license here, there is a little Post-it note behind the little plastic thing here. I'm going to take it out. Now, don't take your eyes off of this Post-it note at any time, okay?
Okay.
I jammed this behind my driver's license here, and I'm going to unfold it, and you're going to see something absolutely incredible because I had 2 things written on here. I had Italy God. And 201
Dude,
right on the money.
That is so ridiculous. I should have changed my answer right before I. How'd you do that?
How did I do it? With style and panache.
Wow. That is ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Good choice on Italy.
And then I was like, oh, I shouldn't say Italy because I really wouldn't want to go there with the COVID thing. Wow, man.
I know.
1? Really? I mean, God. You are ridiculous.
Thanks, brother. I'm trying. And you know what's funny? When people say you're ridiculous, I also get you're the devil. Are you an alien? These are all compliments. So I'll
and you
take
did that obviously well before. I mean, a long time ago.
Yeah, yeah.
I had no idea you were going to play that game with me.
It was ready to rumble in the event that.
How many other wallets and
Post-it
notes do you have?
Yeah, I have 3,286 wallets about my body. No, this is not true. I wish it were. Actually, I wish it were that easy.
That is ridiculous. I'm sorry, I keep on saying that.
No, I know
I'm speechless.
It's a crazy one.
But it's great. Was there a point when you were like 10 or 12 or 15 or something where you started realizing you could read people's minds, or was there ever a moment where you realized you were good at that, or did you learn it because you got a degree in psychology? Like, Where did that all, how'd that all come to be?
Yeah, so again, for full disclosure, or my disclaimer, whatever you want to say, I don't claim to be a psychic or anything. And every time I do any type of television appearance, and I just did a national TV appearance about a week ago, immediately afterward, I always get the emails and the messages from people saying, hey, you know, I'm having these life issues. I need, you know, can you help me? Can you predict my future? Am I going to get married? And they want me to predict their fortune.
Yeah.
I'm a mentalist, not a fortune teller. Okay. So there is a difference between a psychic and a mentalist. Now, with that being said, you know, a good way to put it is this: I don't have a sixth sense.
Yes, you do. You knew I was going to say Italy like hours ago, and then 201.
Now that's right. You would, and the point is, the only explanation is he must be a psychic. The catch is I don't have a sixth sense. I highly tune the 5 senses that I already have to create an experience that appears to be a sixth sense, if that makes sense. Say that 10 times fast. So I'm creating this based upon psychology and human behavior and things that you know, you could study.
Let me ask you a question. Well, wait. If it wasn't me sitting here, and it was some other speaker I represent, or a friend of mine, or a stranger, whoever, would they have also said Italy 201?
Fantastic question. Sometimes, and I'll tell you why. You're on a very interesting track, and almost one where you're going to get a peek behind the scenes. I have 2 skill sets. Okay, and maybe I'm saying too much here.
Right.
But I have the ability to predict things that are going to happen. Okay. But I also have ways of implanting thoughts into your mind, so you believe that you thought of things on your own when in actuality I put them there.
The drums thing is ridiculous because you.
Yeah. So again, if you look at the world of advertising, let's say, okay, if you looked around your room where you are right now, you would see more logos than you could ever imagine. There's one behind you, right behind you on your chair, behind your chair there. If you look in the tag, there you go, subliminal messaging. If where is it? Right here, you have a subliminal message there in the back of the tag or the inside of your jacket, on your socks, your underwear, I mean, your wristwatch, everything has a logo on it. People are implanting logo recognition subliminally into your mind so that when it's time to buy, you're going to have that sense and that feeling of familiarity and instantly go for it.
Wait a minute.
So it's the same thing.
You're 14 right now.
You know, I don't know if it plays into it, but
maybe I picked that at exactly 201.
You know, I'm not going to tell you my methodology, but you know, it's one of those things where I have the ability to do both.
Amazing.
I can put things in.
Show me some more. This is cool. Got anything else?
I'll take it. At least you're not saying, okay, stop doing that.
I want to do one more. Come on.
Yeah. Let's rock and roll. Okay. So I'll let you decide, because I do, you know, I do magic and illusion, things that are visual, and I also do mentalism. And they're both equally cool. You'll decide. So mentalism.
Magic, there's so many great magicians. Let's do.
Okay, let's do it. We'll roll into the mentalism
world. So let's do some mental stuff.
Let's rock and roll. I'll do a simple one. Now, would you like me to attempt to read something that's in your subconscious, or would you like me to force something into your brain?
I don't want either of those things.
It depends on how much stuff you have to hide. That's the question.
Whatever. Either
right.
You tell me what you think is best for you.
Yeah, well, how about this? I'll do it, and I'm not going to tell you which one it was. I'll let you decide. How about that?
All right.
I want you to imagine that right now you go to let's say a convenience store, kind of like a 7-Eleven type of place. You go in, and I want you to imagine you're buying some stuff, some drinks, some food, whatever it may be. And I'm gonna write something down while we're doing this. And I want you to imagine you go to the register,
Yeah.
and you pay in cash.
Okay.
Okay. No credit cards or debit cards. You pay in cash. And I want you to imagine you get a receipt back and you get some change back. Okay.
Okay.
Now I have something written here that I believe you're about to say. All right. We'll come up to the close-up camera now.
Wait.
Just you're not able to see it, but go ahead.
Just to make sure that I heard the question right. So I paid.
Oh, I haven't even asked the question yet.
Well,
so you're safe.
I'm going to get a receipt back and some change back.
Yeah. So here's the question now.
Okay.
On my side of the card over here, I have something written. What I want you to tell us, and here's the question: how much change did you get back from your purchase at that convenience store? Make something up and tell us.
Okay, $5.03.
Okay, now you could have said anything up to, I guess, $1 million. I didn't exactly give you any type of limitations or anything like that. But do you find this weird at all? I had you will say $5.03 right on the dot. Literally right on the money.
When did you write that?
Yeah, just now while I was telling you to picture the scene of being in the convenience store. For some reason, actually, it's weird because I saw your mind shift. Did you start under $1 at all? Were you in the cents and then add dollars, or did you start with the 5 and then go in? Do you remember?
Well, I was at $14.97.
Gotcha. Okay.
I
saw it shift.
Was the amount of money I was paying of stuff I was buying, and that 503 was going to be my change.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, it ended up correct, so that's all that matters to me. So good choice. That would have been a terrible ending if you would have said like 37 cents.
That is crazy.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks.
He's like, yeah, that is crazy.
No, I mean, I wish I could step on the other side. The only interesting thing that, from my perspective, that I wish I could switch is to devoid myself of knowledge, because when I watch other performers do this type of thing,
right,
my skill set is like engraved in my brain, so I see it for a different reason. You know, it's kind of like watching, like we mentioned earlier, Penn and Teller's Fool Us. It's when you watch somebody else doing your art form, and you know how it's done, that wow factor, it's hedonic adaptation. You know, you're so used to it, you know, you see the same types of things.
Yeah.
But from your perspective, I wish I could go back there and sit in your chair.
I don't know if you want to sit in my chair right now, because that's almost to the point of like, it's this rush of adrenaline and like, it's amazing to because honestly, because when you're watching it on TV, or even if you're in an audience with a corporate event, he's doing it to other people,
right? And that's why I try to get everybody. You're not
a participant,
right. And that's the thing. And I always tell people this whenever I do a show, and because I know that, and I live in that space, and I am keenly aware of that. And that's why in my live shows and virtual, I make it a point to get everybody involved throughout several times so they can have that feeling. I have to make sure every single one of those people has that OMG moment. So that's why I tell people to do things as a group. I tell everyone, take something out of your pocket. Everybody think of something. Everybody do something. And then there's a payoff at the end for the entire audience. Because I've seen a lot of performers where they will do something as what I'll call a little vignette, where they'll stand there and they'll do a trick and say, cool, look at this. The catch is, if I wanted to see somebody do something cool, I could go on YouTube and watch that.
Yeah.
And it would be high production value. It would be great, like an AGT or something like that. But when you're experiencing a live show, be it on a stage, in person, or through a camera, you have to go beyond having your audience watch something and you want them to engage with it and participate with it. I always like to put it in the realm of every single show that I do is kind of like a choose your own adventure book, you know, where you, the audience, are determining the outcome of everything that happens. For example, you thinking of Italy and thinking of drums and doing those things, you know, it makes it, this will never happen again. This show, we'll call it, will never happen ever again. And you know, it's something unique to the moment. So getting people engaged and having the audience lead the show is what it's all about, man. That's what makes it fun, in my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah, that absolutely. And so one other question I was just thinking of, if a corporate event, you know, sponsor or the company itself or the organization that's hired you has a theme or a new product or a new sales mantra or a tagline or something that people are struggling with to adopt as a mindset, can you help the planner or the event people who are producing and putting on the event, can you help them put something into the minds of their employees or of their association members that'll help them through or give them something that they want them to adopt and believe in?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a great question. There's two different levels to it. And, you know, I've worked and continue, I have great relationships with some of the top planners in the world. And thankfully, and I think I like serving them because what I don't do is I don't do a cookie cutter show where I say, here it is, and this is how much it costs, take it or leave it. It's not the real world. It's not the world that planners live in. You know, you have to ebb and flow and things are constantly changing and you need to adapt to the event. So what we do, I work collaboratively. So the first thing I do is ask questions and then listen, you know, and it's in that listening, you know, what is your theme? Is there an underlying message? You know, what is the purpose everybody's getting together? And then there's two ways you can go from there. You can do subliminal kind of overtone where you're mentioning the theme or the through line. We just did one. It was the journey of life. So constantly I was talking about the journey of life, and I was intermingling that in with my presentation to help support the theme. So you have it in a very loose way. And then you can do the things that are pretty much in your face and overt, where it gets to the point of custom scripting. And I've done a lot of events, things for corporations where they're doing trade shows or things. I do a lot of business out in Vegas where they want to intermingle a sales message because there's potential clients in the room as well. So I spout out facts and figures about the company, about their product or service. And then if I can, or if they hire me to, I can customize and script it to the point where I'm using their products or services in the performance. Not in a sales way, but in a fun, heartfelt, kind of lighthearted way, so that it's subliminal. And they always say a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. So if people are watching something cool while they're hearing a theme or something, it helps them absorb it and really do it. So we've done things. One of the here, and this is something I think this is a perfect tie-in. I happen to have some stuff here, so I'll show you a quick one. So this is cool because we have a bunch of stuff in the studio here. So I have a Coke and I have a Red Bull coconut. Which one do you want to recycle?
The coconut.
This one? All right.
Bigger.
Trash, gone. That's going in recycling. That leaves me with this. So watch this. Coke can. We're going to come up to the close-up camera. Check this out.
Okay.
Now you can see it's crushed and open and emptied. Watch the dents in the can. All you have to do is imagine that every time my finger goes around this can, that we can go 1 minute back in time, right? So if my finger goes around the can and we go 1 minute back in time for each rotation, if you believe something strongly enough, it'll start to become your reality. Now watch the can and watch the dents. You're going to begin to see them actually go back to where they came from.
Wow.
The dents are actually coming out of the can. Now we still have a hole, but if you imagine I can grab it and just throw it away, like if you believe I can grab nothingness like that and throw it away, the lack of nothingness would be the presence of something. And if that something is real, it becomes a seal.
Wow.
Right? So you have this, it's resealed. Now listen, there's nothing in it, right? Nothing in there, but if you imagine and believe we can refill it, it'll just get heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier. And now make it cold again. Why not, right? Mm-hmm. Check this out. It's getting heavier. Look, it's filling up. Listen, listen. You can hear it filling up. It's getting colder. And on that note, I'd like to make a toast on behalf of Coca-Cola. Cheers.
Wow.
So that's a little example of, utilizing a product or a service in the show where you're grabbing something that has their logo on it. And I've done that for a bunch of companies, beverage companies and so on and so forth. Again, so there's a subtle message in there about the company or the product or service. So to answer your question, underlying themes or messages to help people or inspirational stuff or overt sales messages, it can all be put in. I live in a world of mental manipulation. So absolutely, that's what it's all about.
Is there something that you haven't done that you are trying to figure out how to do, or you haven't had the opportunity to do yet, and you're just like waiting for the right moment, or that you're building right now? Is there anything kind of like out there that you're excited about?
Do you mean in the sense of kind of like a piece, an act to perform, or are you thinking kind of bigger picture?
Both. Kind of like, what excites you about the future in your profession and your job? Is there a trick that you are working on, or is there something you want to be able to do that you just haven't had the opportunity to do yet with like a huge audience or something like that?
Yeah, I'm constantly creating. So the answer, anytime you ask me that, the answer is going to be yes, because of the world that I live in. The fun part is really kind of coming up with new concepts. That's the artistic part of it, where you're using your skill set to create things. So I'm constantly working on things. I have things that I'm working on right now that, they're so deep down the rabbit hole psychologically that, you have to do things. In my world, I can't practice in a room alone. I can't stand in front of a mirror and read my own mind. So I need human beings in order to do it. And I need audiences to do it. So the way I test stuff is I just throw it into the show and see what happens and see what I can create. Of course, I don't just make it up on the spot and throw it in. I have the core concept and I know it's going to do something and the outcome is going to be entertaining, but to what degree and what specificity. So yeah, there are a few things. I'm working on, I know this is going to sound crazy, but I'm working on a way to make everybody that's watching the show, either virtually or in person, actually travel through time. I make the audience travel through time. And it's going to sound absolutely ridiculous. Would you like to see a sample?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is, again, I wasn't planning on doing this at all, but I want you to name a number between 1 and, 1 and 10. Anything that you want. 1 and 10? There's only, so you're talking about 2 to 9? Yeah, sure. Or including 1 and 10? The specificity in your brain this is why I like reading your mind, because there's so much going on in there. You never know what's going to happen. So I guess a single digit other than 0. How about that? Okay. A single digit other than 0. Got it. Okay. Say it out loud. 8. Okay. Check this out. So now I'm in a different time zone as you. I have my lovely better half and my son here. This is the time where I am right now. But check this out. Watch the clock. Okay.
Okay.
You said 8, right? We just went back in time 8 minutes. Now, not only did I travel back in time 8 minutes, but you did as well. Check your phone and check the time. We just went over by a minute. If you look at your clock in your phone, you'll see that you also went back 8 minutes back in time.
How did you?
Your clocks just went back 8 minutes as well. So it's
I looked at my clock and it said.
And so you just got younger. I'm trying to new.
It said 2:38 and now it says 2:30.
Yeah, so that experience is what I'm bringing to people. Wait
a minute, I'm gonna have to rewind the tape, but I'm not gonna be able to know what my clock said here. Oh my God.
So doing that and then having everybody experience that is, so I'm working on things like that where the viewers actually take out their phones and have an experience like that. So yeah.
You can do that every day for me. That would be great because I need more time.
I'll tell you, I've added years onto my life. I'm actually 87. Do I look all right?
Yeah. Much better than you would normally have looked. 87. That's funny. Wow, man, Wayne, this has been absolutely so fun. I feel like we could go on for hours here, and I can't wait to hang out with you in person once all this COVID stuff is all over. Unbelievable, man. It's all real, which is so cool. And I love to help people visualize things. I love to tell people about people like you. And so, believe me, I'm going to do my best.
Cool.
To tell people how freaking amazing and real all of that was. That was all real, folks. Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that was cool. So thanks, fun. Brother. And thanks for participating. Thanks for letting me in your mind,
Yeah, absolutely. We can talk about some other things on my mind off camera.
I already know part of it, and man,
yeah. Awesome,
he's got some things in his brain, folks.
Well, man, enjoy that Coke. Enjoy your night. Enjoy your week. And have a great rest of your summer, buddy. And I will look forward to talking to you and hanging out with you and booking you. Yeah. But thanks again so much for coming on the show. That was
my pleasure. This was fun.
Absolutely.